Amaka stood in front of the mirror, brushing her long black hair. She smiled at her reflection. Life had finally begun to make sense. She had a good job at a bank, a loving family, and now the man who truly loved her. His name was Kenneth. They met on a rainy Tuesday morning. Amaka was running late for work and forgot her umbrella. As she stood under a shop shade, waiting for the rain to stop, a sleek black car stopped beside her. The window rolled down, and a man with a gentle smile said, "Good morning, miss. Would you like a ride?" Amaka hesitated. "I don't enter strangers' cars." "I understand. But I'm not a stranger. I work with MK Holdings. My office is just 5 buildings away from yours." She looked at him again. He seemed sincere. His eyes were warm, and there was something calm about his voice. "Okay," she finally said. "Just this once." That ride turned into many more. Within weeks, they were talking every day. Kenneth would pick her up after work, take her to lunch on weekends, and sometimes send small gifts to her office: flowers, chocolates, perfumes. He wasn't loud or boastful, but he knew how to make a woman feel special. Amaka's friends were amazed. "Where did you find this kind of man?" her best friend, Ada, asked. "He's tall, gentle, rich, and very respectful." "I don't know," Amaka smiled. "It just feels right." One evening, 3 months after they met, Kenneth took her to a quiet rooftop restaurant. The lights twinkled like stars, and soft music played in the background. After dinner, he knelt on one knee and brought out a small velvet box. "Amaka," he said, "you are the best thing that has ever happened to me. I don't want to spend another day without knowing you're mine. Will you marry me?" Tears filled Amaka's eyes. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, Kenneth. I will." Everyone celebrated the engagement. Her parents were thrilled. Her sisters were jealous in a good way. The wedding was set for 3 months later. But as the wedding date approached, strange things began to happen. It started with the dreams. At first, Amaka thought it was just stress. After all, wedding planning wasn't easy: the dresses, the hall, the guests, the catering. But then, the dreams became more frequent and more disturbing. In one dream, she was walking down the aisle, dressed in white, when suddenly the crowd disappeared. The church grew dark, and Kenneth's face changed into something she couldn't recognize: cold, hollow, and full of secrets. She woke up sweating, her heart pounding in her chest. "Ada," she told her friend the next morning, "I keep having these scary dreams. I don't know what's wrong." Ada frowned. "Maybe you're just nervous. It happens to most brides." "I don't think it's ordinary," Amaka replied. "The dreams feel real." Ada reached across the table and held her hand. "Amaka, do you trust Kenneth?" "Yes. I do. At least, I think I do." "Then don't let fear ruin what you've built. Pray about it." Amaka nodded. She tried. She prayed. She fasted. But the uneasiness remained. Then came the phone calls. One night, Amaka was at Kenneth's house helping him sort wedding invitations. His phone rang while he was in the kitchen. She glanced at the screen. It showed only a mentor. Kenneth came back quickly and grabbed the phone. "I'll take this in private," he said, and walked to the balcony. Amaka raised an eyebrow. She had never heard him talk about any mentor. When he returned, she asked, "Who was that?" He smiled casually. "Just a business partner." "Why is the name saved as mentor?" He paused for a moment. "That's just how I saved it." "Is something wrong?" "No," Amaka said quietly. But deep down, she knew something wasn't right. A week later, while arranging her room, she stumbled upon an old phone Kenneth used. Curious, she charged it and turned it on. To her shock, she saw a saved video, one Kenneth had sent her months ago when he took her to see a land he bought for their future home. She clicked it open again, but something strange happened. The video skipped. It glitched. Then, for a few seconds, it showed Kenneth standing beside an unknown man, in what looked like a shrine. Amaka's blood froze. She replayed it, this time more slowly. Yes. It was real. The same Kenneth she knew, holding a red calabash, kneeling before an elderly man who was speaking in a language she didn't understand. The video cut off after a few seconds. She stared at the screen, her heart racing. What was that? Why was Kenneth at a shrine? What was he doing there? Amaka felt like she couldn't breathe. Amaka didn't sleep that night. She lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling, with the image of Kenneth at the shrine playing over and over in her head. The red calabash. The kneeling. The strange man. It didn't make any sense. Kenneth had never spoken about anything traditional. In fact, he always acted like a modern, God-fearing man. Was it an old video? A joke? A coincidence? The next morning, Amaka took the phone to Ada's place. Her best friend watched the video twice before speaking. This doesn't look like a joke, Amaka. This is serious. I know, Amaka said quietly. What do I do? Are you sure you want to marry him? There's still time to find out the truth. Amaka looked down. I love him, Ada. But now I'm scared. Don't be afraid to ask questions, Ada said firmly. You deserve to know the truth before you marry anyone. That evening, Amaka met Kenneth for dinner at a quiet restaurant. After they placed their order, she brought up the topic carefully. Kenneth, she began, can I ask you something personal? Of course, he said, reaching for her hand. Have you ever done anything traditional? Like visited a shrine or consulted a native doctor? Kenneth's hand stiffened. Just for a second. Then he laughed softly. Why do you ask? I saw something, a video. You were with a man, and there was a shrine. It looked very real. He was quiet for a moment. Then he sighed. That was a long time ago, he said finally. It wasn't what it looked like. I went there because someone I trusted said it was for protection. I didn't know it was wrong at the time. But I stopped. I gave my life to Christ. Amaka stared at him. So you're saying it's in the past? Yes, he said, looking her in the eyes. You have nothing to worry about. She wanted to believe him. His voice was calm. His eyes were steady. But deep inside, a tiny voice whispered, he's not telling you everything. The following weekend was her bridal shower. Her friends surprised her with gifts, games, and cake. For a few hours, she laughed again. The fear faded. Maybe she was just overthinking. But just as the party ended and people were leaving, a young woman in a red dress walked in. Everyone turned. Excuse me, the lady said. I need to speak with Amaka. Alone. Amaka was confused. Do I know you? No, the woman said. But I know Kenneth. And you need to watch this before you marry him. She handed Amaka a small flash drive and whispered, watch it when you're alone. Your life depends on it. Then she turned and walked away. Amaka stood frozen, holding the flash drive in her hand. The room was silent. Ada rushed to her side. Who was that? I don't know, Amaka said, her voice shaking. But I think I need to find out. Amaka sat alone in her bedroom that night, staring at the small flash drive in her hand. Her heart beat fast. She had locked her door, drawn the curtains, and placed her laptop on the table. Her fingers trembled as she plugged in the device. There was only one file on it, a video titled, Before You Say I Do. She clicked it. The screen lit up with a shaky video. A room appeared, dimly lit, with red candles placed in a circle. Standing in the center was Kenneth. He was shirtless, his eyes closed, while an old man painted strange symbols on his chest with what looked like blood. Another man, younger and dressed in black, was recording the ritual. The voice of the old man echoed. "You must sacrifice one woman every 2 years to keep the wealth flowing." Amaka gasped. Kenneth nodded in the video. The old man continued, "The more women you use, the stronger your charm becomes. But never fall in love. Love weakens the power." The video cut off. Amaka sat still, frozen with fear. Her whole body was cold. Her breath became shallow. She stared at the screen, hoping it wasn't real. But it was him. His face. His voice. Kenneth had used women for rituals. And now, she was the next one. Her mind raced. Was he really going to marry her, and then destroy her? Was everything he ever said a lie? She remembered all the sweet words, the gifts, the prayers they had shared, the way he always said, "You are my destiny." Tears filled her eyes. Her phone rang. It was Ada. "Amaka. Are you okay? That lady came to my house just now. She said Kenneth is dangerous. I tried to call you earlier, but your line was busy." "I saw the video," Amaka whispered. "It's true, Ada. He's evil. What are you going to do?" Amaka wiped her tears. "I need to think. I can't marry him. But I have to be careful. If he finds out I know the truth, I don't know what he'll do." The next morning, Amaka pretended like everything was fine. She answered Kenneth's calls. She smiled. She even told him she was excited about the wedding. But in her heart, she had made a decision. She was going to expose him. She just didn't know how yet. That evening, she went to visit her pastor. After telling him everything, including the video and what she had seen, he looked at her quietly and said, "My daughter, this is not just a relationship matter. This is spiritual warfare. Thank God you found out before it was too late." "What should I do, sir?" "You need to cancel the wedding immediately and let your family know. But first, we will pray. You must break any soul tie he has created with you. These rituals are not ordinary. He may try to fight back." Amaka nodded. "I'm ready." They prayed for hours. That night, Amaka had a dream again. This time, Kenneth stood in a dark room, holding a knife. But a bright light appeared, pushing him back. Then a voice whispered, "I have delivered you. Don't return." She woke up, covered in sweat. The next morning, she made the hardest decision of her life. Amaka knew she couldn't back out of the wedding publicly without putting herself in danger. Kenneth was powerful, rich, and very smart. If he suspected she had discovered his secret, he might act fast and dangerously. So, she began to plan her escape quietly. She told no one except Ada and her pastor. Not even her parents knew the full story yet. Ada suggested, "Don't confront him directly. Don't cancel the wedding with a phone call. Just disappear. Let the truth come out later, when you're safe." Amaka nodded. "I'll leave town before the wedding. I'll go somewhere he won't expect." She booked a flight to Enugu, where her cousin lived. The wedding was supposed to hold on Saturday. Amaka planned to leave on Friday morning, without telling anyone except Ada and her pastor. Meanwhile, Kenneth kept calling and texting. "Kenneth, I can't wait to call you my wife. Kenneth, only 2 more days and we'll be together forever." His words chilled her now. She replied politely but kept her distance. She avoided any physical meetings, claiming she was too busy with last-minute wedding arrangements. But on Thursday evening, something unexpected happened. She was packing her bag when she heard a knock at the door. "Who is it?" she asked. It's me. Kenneth. Her heart skipped. Amaka, I brought some food. You haven't been eating well lately. Please open the door. She froze. Just a minute, she said, stalling for time. She quickly texted Ada. Kenneth is at my door. I'm scared. Ada replied immediately. Don't open it. Tell him you're feeling sick. Amaka raised her voice. I'm not feeling well tonight, Kenneth. Please. I need to rest. There was silence. Then Kenneth said softly, Are you sure? You sound different. I'm just tired, she replied quickly. Okay, he said. Rest well. I love you. I love you too, Amaka replied. He walked away. Amaka didn't sleep that night. She prayed. She fasted. She watched the door until morning. By 6 a.m. on Friday, she had left the house, wearing a cap and dark glasses. Ada picked her up and drove her to the airport. They said their goodbyes with tears in their eyes. Call me when you get there, Ada said. Please be safe. I will, Amaka replied. Thank you, for everything. When the plane took off, Amaka closed her eyes and whispered, God, thank you. Thank you for saving me. Meanwhile, back in Lagos, Kenneth was busy with final wedding preparations. He had no idea the bride was gone. Until Saturday morning. That was when everything changed. Saturday morning dawned bright and beautiful in Lagos. The wedding hall was decorated with gold and white. The chairs were neatly arranged. Guests began to arrive, dressed in their finest clothes. The atmosphere was full of joy and excitement. Kenneth stood in front of the mirror in his hotel room, adjusting his tie. He looked handsome, confident, and calm, but underneath, his heart raced. He hadn't heard from Amaka since Friday morning. She had stopped replying to his messages. Her phone was off. He told himself she was just busy with her hair and makeup. After all, it was a big day. But as the clock ticked past 10 a.m., and then 11 o'clock, his confidence began to fade. Sir, his best man said, the bride hasn't arrived. Should we call her? Kenneth nodded. They tried. No answer. He called her friends. They hadn't seen her. He called her parents. They thought she was with him. Panic began to spread. At 12:30 p.m., Kenneth's mother approached him. My son, where is your bride? Kenneth couldn't speak. Suddenly, a loud voice rose at the back of the hall. Everyone. Please, stop everything. All heads turned. It was Pastor Uche, Amaka's pastor. He walked up to the stage with a microphone in his hand. What's going on? Kenneth asked, his voice shaking. I'm here to tell the truth, the pastor said. Amaka is not coming. And this wedding is cancelled. Gasps echoed through the hall. People began murmuring. What? Why? This is disgraceful. Kenneth's face turned pale. Where is she? She's safe, the pastor replied calmly. And she's not your next victim. Kenneth's eyes widened. What are you talking about? I know who you are, the pastor said boldly. We've seen the video. We know everything about the rituals, the sacrifices, the charm you made to use women for wealth. It ends here. The crowd went silent. Kenneth tried to speak, but his words failed him. The pastor turned to the crowd. I know this is shocking. But Amaka has escaped what could have destroyed her. Young women, be careful. Not every handsome, rich man is from God. Some are wolves in sheep's clothing. Then he walked away. Kenneth stood there, speechless, sweating, completely exposed. Within an hour, the wedding hall was empty. Guests had left in confusion and shock. Some took videos and photos. The story spread online. By evening, Kenneth had gone into hiding. And Amaka? She was safe in Enugu, watching the news from a quiet living room, tears in her eyes, not of sadness, but of relief. Ada called her. "Are you okay?" Ada asked. "I'm better than okay," Amaka said. "I'm free. I miss you, Amaka. Lagos isn't the same without you. I miss you too. But I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be." As the sun began to set, Amaka sat in her living room, humming a song of joy. She didn't have a husband, not yet. But she had something more precious. Freedom. Wisdom. And a second chance. And this time, when love comes again, she'll be ready. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the story, like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.